Good evening, this is Melissa with thestockswoosh.com, and I'm here tonight to discuss with you RIMM. Now, RIMM was a gap down that I played last week. Okay, the earnings were the 21st. It was a gap on the 21st. Actually, the earnings were the night before. And here it was. This is Friday. This was right before the holidays. Now, here's the thing. The night before, I was looking at this and said, boy, I hope this goes. I really wish this gaps down. I can't wait to play it. I love this thing. I've been playing this RIMM every time. It's just so great. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Then what happened is I got up in the morning this day, and we'll go look at the chart then on the day. And it was hanging like around here. And I said, you know what? I'm watching it. If it sets up, I'm taking it. And if it sets up again, then I'm going to take it twice. Well, lo and behold, as the morning went on, okay, before the open, it ended up opening here. Now, I'm going to go back and look at the chart, but it had a nice drop in here, got a beautiful entry, it had the play, and then that was it for the down move in the morning. Flipped around, went up all the way in here, and came all the way in then. Never reshorted it after the morning move, okay, because the morning was it, and then what this did was not proper, which I'll discuss in a minute. Now, I just want to make note. The gap was not fabulous, okay, it wasn't. Around where I was looking at it in the morning, which I was looking at since I woke up that morning, the 21st, like from 7 a.m., it had rated a 20 on my 26-point rating system. Before it opened, it lost a point, and it was only a 19 then. Now, at a 19, there's a 50-50 chance that something will work on the day, and there's 50-50 chance it won't work on the day. I played it anyways in the morning because it set up and had a beautiful, incredible entry, which everybody took in the room. And I will go back and look at that. But it had a move, and then after the move, flipped around and reversed, ran over the top, and then basically set up like this, which is ugly, slop city. This was disgusting then, and I'm going to go over it. But that's what happens then when things are like around that 19. Like you can get one move out of it, and be done with it, or it might not go till later, and then you have to wait, and then you take it, and you be done with it. At 19, they work most of the time, okay? But not properly, not cleanly, not what I call clean. What do I call clean? I call clean getting into play, making money. You can retake it one more time after that or a second time after that. You could take it 2 or 3 times and get 2 or 3 plays on it or get it to a full target and have a nice momentum move of the day. Now, I know this had a momentum move in the day, but it was so crazy tough to get that by the time, why would you have even gotten in this later? And we're gonna go over it. Now, really all that it did was open and go back up here. But that really wasn't proper. Okay, we'll discuss it. I thought for sure the next day would continue. Now, it was the day before a holiday. Okay, so it just had a little boop, and here's the guy right here. And now look what happened today. This is the 26th. And let's quick look at the market here today, just before I go over this in detail. Look at the market today. Okay. This happened, and RIMM was green today. That isn't right. Okay, that's not right. And here's the thing. Let's just go look at this morning. Well, there was nothing to do here at all because this is just nothing to do because RIMM isn't gapping today, okay? At some point, you could have decided to buy this where? Maybe in here. Maybe in this point here, you could have bought it was being crazy aggressive because I don't like it as a buy still on the chart, and I'll show it to you in a minute. But if you did buy it here, you had a nice big push up here and a nice move. And then it did this whole bar in here. The thing is that this is caught in a terrible area, was the day of the gap, and it still is today. This is nothing. You do nothing with this chart right now. This is not a buy, and it's not a short either. I thought that it could drop where it needed to the second day, but it was a day of a holiday and a half day for the market. It should have today, if it was proper, followed through, continued down, and at least got down here and dropped with the market. It didn't do it. If that didn't do it today, and that you see something like this that happens today that reverses this bar, it should have continued. It didn't work right the day that it should have, okay? Didn't follow through today. You're off this thing. There's nothing to do. Don't do a thing with this. There's no play here. This is not a continuation. You have to wait and see if it sets up or fixes itself later. This isn't a long, and it's not a short either. Okay, I have to be clear. This is a bearish gap. It rated a 19. It was playable, but only for a move. Should have fixed itself and continued the next day. It didn't. I don't mind if things rest. This is not a rest bar. Okay, does this look like a rest bar to you? No, it ran $1.50. It ran almost as much as it did the day that it gapped. Nothing to do here, okay? And not only that, now it's run up to here. Now, So what does this do? This ran up to this resistance, came in, held itself here, now ran up to this resistance. What? Nothing. You just stay away. Sometimes things don't work out properly. You don't lose money by chasing them. You don't flip it and buy them if they're supposed to be shorts. No. You stick with the plan of action. You stick with the plan. If something works, you play it. There are so many things to be playing and working right. Look at the KSS I just discussed. Stay away from stuff that's crap. There is no reason to play crap. Now, I know that there's a lot of crap in the market, and that's what people get tripped up. They don't want to take the time to learn the good stuff. But it will pay off for you in the end to take my class and learn how to trade good quality gaps and good quality stocks and get the good entries, because you will not feel the need to be chasing crap, and you will never flip a bearish gap and do it as a long. You just won't do it. That would be like unheard of. You won't do it. You will know not to do it if you trade with me. Okay, so just get off this thing. There's nothing to do here. We'll watch it. I'll monitor it. I'll check it in a couple of days. I'll check it in a week. Nothing here. No read on this. This is not acting properly. Okay, that's the call. Ugliness, nothing to do. There's a problem here. It's trying to decide which way to go. Sometimes when charts look like this, okay, and the stock has been in a downtrend, stock has had many bearish gaps, and the stock has fallen off the face of the earth in the last 4 years, okay? Sometimes it will get to a place where it might want to change trends. Is that happening here? Some people like to buy bottoms. I think it's happening here. But this is nothing. It's a bullish gap, okay, but there's no read here that would tell you that all of a sudden this is going to do a 360-degree turn. Okay, now you watch it, you wait, you see, it gets this bullish gap, it rallies up. Now what? Does it buy set up here, has earnings that are bad and comes down? There's nothing to do. You don't buy right after that. Okay, now it looks like it might be prepping itself over the period of the next days or weeks or months to actually start to fix itself in the chart. Will it do that? We don't know that now. There's nothing to do right now. We still don't know that. Okay, I will tell you, if this fixes itself here and holds here and rallies over here, it's on its way to fixing itself, to fixing the chart and changing the actual trend of the chart. But it's not doing it here yet. Didn't do it here yet. Didn't do it here yet. Didn't do it here, and it's not doing it yet. Okay? I'm not convinced of anything yet at all. Okay? Because I played this day, and there was momentum in it short. All right? Okay? So let's just go look at the day that it gapped on the 21st. Got a beautiful entry in here. Took this, was in it, played it down. Okay. Took some of it off into the drop. Lowered my stop on the rest to a proper place, thank goodness. Then took out my stop and blew through and did this thing, went over the high of the day and had this big green bar. That's it. I'm off of it. After I get something that looks like this, I can't reshort into that. I won't reshort into that. It's 10 o'clock. It's the 10 o'clock bar. The 15-minute chart. I'm not reshorting that stock for the rest of the day. Maybe tomorrow, but not today. And I know the next bar was a topping tail, but now it has gone over the high of the day with a big green bar. It went over the high of the day again on the 10-15 bar. Look, it didn't just open and do a topping tail. It opened and went woo all the way up here. And then it tried to fix itself. And then this has a bottoming tail, by the way. Look at that bar. And then what are you doing? Okay, by this time it's underway. And when am I convinced? When it breaks 1050, which is, well past where I'd even consider getting in something, and there's nothing to do. Okay, and then you could have made 50 cents on it if you even took it. The thing is that there was no read on here that was quality. Anything you would have taken to short this after this activity would have been a gamble. 50-50 chance it's going to work. I don't trade like that. 50-50 chance it's going to work after this. 50-50 chance, less than 50 chance, because this is not proper. Now, I know, okay, what this did here, but this still isn't proper. It's way too late. This is short covering, but there's buying in there too. Okay, there is. It just doesn't look right. It shouldn't be doing that. And it shouldn't be doing this. Okay. Now, in the morning on the day of the gap, this thing had a chance to go to $10 in the day. It very well could have done it. It just decided not to do it. So be it, okay? this thing opened and showed immediate weakness. And I said, if it did, I'm in it. Okay? Had this nice drop here, even had an ad. Here was the exit right here. Looking back, when I see it, I said, you know what? I should have just taken the whole thing off instead of lowering the stop on a portion, because why? Did a double bottom, 1157, 1157. And the problem was I had this number nowhere written down anywhere, and it wasn't anything. And I know it wasn't anything because obviously then it sliced right through it then later in the day, which we'll go back and look at. But it set up ugly then as a short later. So I never, ever, ever took it. And, you know, but had a beautiful entry and a nice like 30-some cent move in the actual first move of the morning. Here, the exit was a double bottom though, by the way. That was the exit. Now, would I have if I had taken the whole thing off and not lowered my stop, would I have retaken it? No, I wouldn't have retaken it because I sat here and watched it. I sat here and watched it, and I couldn't press the button. I had zero conviction in it after that 15-minute bar. After the two 15-minute bars, actually the big green one and then the one that went higher. Even though I did a topping tail. Just because something does a topping tail doesn't mean it's immediately going to go back down and break out of the low of the day then. Okay, I didn't think there was high odds. I thought maybe it might come into halfway in here or something. And so then, therefore, that was, you know, I'm not going to play something knowing that I don't have high odds of it actually having a red bar in the day. As it turns out, it did. Where did the momentum, though, come into it after the fact? After it set up so sloppily and ran up there? Well, you can't take this entry here. No way you can't take that. That's crazy. No one would do that. Can't take this entry here either. Okay? Makes no sense. Can't take this one here. Where's the entry in here? Here's the entry. There's the entry. Okay? Here's the entry in here, over here, and here, and here. 3 entries later that you could have taken. I just didn't do it. I just didn't like this. This whole, I will never, you get to a point where you see how often things work and you see how often things don't. And you say, you know what, 9 times out of 10, this is not, I've never short into this and make money. Therefore, I'm just not doing it. So then 1 time out of 10, it works. And I don't get this big drop in here, which looks big, but in the end, where I could have gotten in and what I could have gotten out of it and what I would have thought it would have played down to, where I would have taken it out, because I wouldn't have had conviction in it for the play that it ended up doing. You know, you have to get to a point you're saying, I'm playing things that have high odds of working, and this does not have a high odd of working to short into. I don't care. It just doesn't. And once in a blue moon it works like this, I didn't lose any money. I didn't make any money. I made money in the morning. I had a perfect call in the morning, which should have continued, and I had my money in the morning, and that's it. Okay? And if I had taken this trade and made the money I made in the morning, and this trade would have failed, I wouldn't have had as good of a day, and I would have said, you know what, why did I do that when I know that this only works 1 out of 10 times? Okay, so this is how you have to get with it's about accuracy too. And really, after this started to go, okay, after this started to go in here, I literally was expecting, you know, it to just pitter down into around here, okay, in this area, and it did kind of get held up in here. You see, it kind of got held up in here, kind of got held up in here, and kind of got held up in here, and eventually then the selling started to come into it again, and then it came in because it was a bearish gap. Okay, it was more about gambling to me to take that trade than accuracy in reading what was the next event of actions because of this bar here, and this also as well. And I play the daily chart. I do, okay? The daily chart was a bearish gap. I play that. This is not proper. In fact, looking back at this now with the way that this topping tail was here, you know, I don't know. It's almost, we were talking about this the other day in the trading room. Is that activity a machine or is that people? Looking at it now, the strange way that it's set up in the chart, and so late then in the afternoon, after it's set up and had a nice move and then flipped over, failed, went over the high of the day, went over the high of the day, and then had this bar with that tail like that. And then it ended the day like it did, like it was falling off a cliff, but for no reason so late, the setup. It's almost like it was some kind of black box or machine. I don't know if it was, but this doesn't look like people that would create this activity. Maybe it was. I don't know. I've seen way worse, more machine activity than this, but I can't really give you an explanation why it did this. I mean, I know it rallied up to resistance, but the way it's set up so pretty, so clean, so beautiful, with such weakness in the morning, it had that nice move with a great entry. Great everything, and I have no explanation for the double bottom at 1157. I couldn't find that number anywhere on the chart. Just couldn't. 1155. I couldn't find 1157 anywhere. I would have taken the whole thing off. Okay, and I probably would have taken more even on the first play if I had known that that was all I was going to get out of it. But in the end, today's activity with the green bar just proves everything that happened on Friday, which is that this stock is not trading properly. It's in a state of confusion. It is not going to act in accordance to the natural rules of things, and therefore stay away from it, okay? It didn't act right Friday. It didn't act right today, and it's not going to act right until it fixes itself. When is that going to be? We don't know, okay? I told you that it might be changing and fixing itself completely on the chart here now, and I said what it'd have to do to have that happen. Hold here and go above here, and it's on its way to fixing itself. Otherwise, if it breaks through here, it's back down again, okay? And how do you know until it does it? You don't, okay? You do not. Why? This is not a continuation of the gap to play here now after today. Off of it. No, didn't act right today, didn't act right the other day. The day of the gap, this is ugly, shouldn't be doing this, stay off of it, okay? I know the way things should work clean, and this is not clean anymore, and it just reinforces the conviction today with the activity of the way this traded and the market today, and the way that it acted today, and the retracement of Friday's bar today just proves to me that the choice I made not to reshort that late in the day on Friday, late in the afternoon, late in the morning, I mean, was a good choice, because it really was a 50-50 chance of an odds of working on a gamble, because there's something's up with this. This isn't acting normal for what it's supposed to be doing. Does that make any sense? I don't know if I'm making any sense here, but I'm trying to explain it the best I can the way that I see it. You know, this is what I'm doing. And I'll talk about this more in my RIMM next week, because I'm going to watch it. You know, these are things you learn from it. When you get experience learning things, you know the way things are supposed to work, then you always know what to do. And when they don't do what they're supposed to do, then you stay away. There's no reason to fight it. There's plenty of other things to trade. So anyways, if you have any questions, please feel free to email me at melissa@thestockswoosh.com.